On this episode of The Streets, hitting the streets with the National Peace Program. A criminologist's report on crime in Barbados offers several solutions and recommendations. Part of that response is government's National Peace Program, that's self-described as birthed from the concepts of penal and criminal justice reform within a Barbadian context. It's under the Office of the Attorney General. The National Peace Program says it's seeking to address the ways in which the state treats crime and offenders. It's described as a holistic approach. Corey Lane is Minister in the Office of the Attorney General. He has direct responsibility for the Peace Program.
Where are we right now and what's happening?
I call here one of the epicenters of my work.
What's here first?
Here is Westbury. Here is Pittwick Gap. Here is New Orleans. Here is Westbury. So here, all of those areas meet here.
I've actually covered few things in this area.
Yeah, and hopefully you won't be covering anymore. When I first started to work on getting a feel of what's going on up there, to work with the NGO, with the peace agreement and so on, this is one of the first areas that came. This is one of the areas that would have had tension with persons. So we came out here and we do what we do best, which is to listen, find out what was the position, what's the problems, what's the concerns, and more importantly, what are the plans, what was the things you want, what was the solutions. And I found that just in this epicenter right here, there are a number of things that were possible.
What's there?
So here really is, I can let the guys right here give you a better idea here, but they said this is where the guys congregate, this is where the line, this is where the plan, and a lot of things actually kick off right here. So you know we would have had the, some people call it a block, some people call it a alignment area, I call it a caboose. I know what do you guys call it?
Right here is a bar.
A bar.
Right there is a church.
Right.
It's
That's how dynamic communities are. You understand? A cooling area, cozy area. But when we actually have events, this is where people stand up to sell and so on. So this is converted in many ways. I'd say even got spiritual sessions, church, everything is happening here. You understand? But when you look around here, in all seriousness, you would have had a community titan in the name of Ali Rochester here. He used to have the Beverly Hills football here. Community Guy Ramon carrying and Cody Abbott. He brought that back. He wanted to get that thing going again. So we started with a soccer rama. Then we started the Love and Unity series, where we said like, we get into all the communities that got tension. Because people saw us playing football, right? And thought that we were just playing football. But it is not what football is. It was about people deciding that we want peace and we want to work together, right? And we said, all right, everybody that was intentionally, we play 16 games, 0 fights. Sorry, that's true peace. So we got the pavilion here. We got area where we build up some stalls and bars and so on. So look, let me make this an active community. Because the devil find work for either hands. So we we're going to do, we're going to got events, we can got sports, we can got culture, we can got all kind of things. And people can come out and sell. So you see a number of bars setting up, benches and some right around the area. We can do a lot of stuff. The community center that was once a police post in New Orleans, police for years that been shut down. But a lot of little men used to listen, used to do lessons there, used to learn this there, used to learn, but it was a dilapidated building. And what we did, we worked hard to get it back up and running so people can go in there again and get lessons and computer classes. So the whole idea is to get people in the community. Now, as the MP, I also the Minister of State for Crime Prevention, but also the MP for the area. My thing is to facilitate, and then the community now have to come and make things happen.
You know, people see or hear about these cricket matches, these football matches going on. What purpose does it?
Yeah.
What purpose does it?
Right. Sports is a very, very powerful mechanism. I have not heard people, but I've heard of people, trying to poo-poo sports. But as I say, sports is not sports. Sports is discipline, is teamwork, is affirmation, is exercise. It is a coming together to bring community cohesion and unity. So there was really, really purpose in the peace and peace in the purpose. So all of the sports that you've seen us done and that we're going to do in the future had a very specific purpose, and it has exceeded the purpose where many communities come and say, we want to get involved, we want to do that too, we want peace. So we went from love and unity to one love, to bring back the love, so it become the whole peace and love series now, as opposed to one off.
So give me an example of what exactly this has worked, the activity, your program, is how this is converted into communities.
So there are a number of guys, as I said, from various areas, near and far. So over just about a gap or two away from here, you would have had people not agreeing with one another, want to kill one another, right? After some negotiations, some talk, this is my area, so we could come, I could talk to them. And what you find is by bringing them together, you find that something is saying really petty, or something that going way back with somebody father and our body father that just pass on. Something that real minor when you really drill down. And they say, all right, man, all right, we can try to work together. But if you just leave it there, what you need to do is to get down working together, playing together, eating together, breaking bed together, coming to the bar together, coming to church together, so that you got that long-term sustainable peace. Getting the peace sometimes can be easy, it's keeping the peace.
Yeah.
And that is the sustain and maintain that we got to work on.
Let's talk about that a bit, sustainable peace, because we did see a clear demonstrable lull in the violence at one point, and then it started again. Some ferocities in Mexico. And now, relatively quiet. Explain that.
Right. It is very difficult to explain, because you asked me to explain human behavior, but in this case, there are clear lines of delineation, there are clear lines for us to understand the differences. So throughout Barbados history, there's always been ebbs and flows, spikes and dips. What you've seen over the last 3 years, though, it is very intentional work, where the government, through the facilitation of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, going to areas, finding out what's going on, doing that street outreach, and bringing groups together. So as you said, there was a sustained period where things were relatively quiet, and then a new game came on town, and the new game didn't really want peace, and they tell people so without apology.
Explain.
People that were in prison, they came out, old beasts get back up, but the people that were at peace still at peace.
But people really need to understand it.
Right, people,
What is going on.
'cause a lot of people don't understand how these things work, and I don't be vexed with them,
Help us understand.
and I help you to understand. So what came into the scenario is a third element. A third element entered, and that had the potential to make the first two peaceful elements not be so peaceful again. A third.
Explain me the first.
So there were two main areas against each other. Those two main areas, as I understand it, through the NGO, came together, did what they had to do. Say that we want peace. 16 months, peace. In comes a third party now, a third wheel, a new game in town, and decide we want no peace. And they started back to get involved in what we were becoming not accustomed to. We were becoming accustomed to peace. They started back with war. Now, we didn't go about it the same way we did with the first set, because the first two sets were really from the beginning, from the get-go, in the back of their mind wanted peace, and that made it easy. This third set, not so much. Now, recently, they seem to want peace, so the NGO is now working with them through the same mechanism, through the same street outreach, negotiation, non-aggression agreement, working towards another peace with the third element.
What
So,
changed?
What changed for me is a number of things. What changed for them, listening to them, is that trying to keep up with the violence. That's number one. Number two, losing a number of key figures. Number three, seeing that the society is not tolerating this as, like for instance, cases being called a lot quicker. Before Sundays, it would take you 10 years to get a case before the court. You see cases brought within 6 months. You used to see people get what people consider a slap on the wrist, 7 to 15 years. You see people getting 30, 40 to 40. When you take the combination of things, because different things affect different people in different ways. So some people may care about that, some people may not care about that. Some people want to live and some people don't care to live. So when you take the whole combination of factors, there's some that decide, I want to live. There's some that realize, like, okay, we drop in like flies. They got some that realize these judges ain't playing, but they double digits. You understand? All of those combining factors sends a signal, and then you start to see a difference in behavior.
What you're saying, really what you hear a lot of some of the analysts and criminologists and other experts say is that it requires a combination.
It does.
Factors. It has to be these set of social issues. It has to be dealing with what they call the policing aspect.
Correct. Suppression.
Policing aspect of it. And then obviously the criminal justice system and that stuff like that. And also then there's the element of your looking to community activities. So you're saying a combination of factors.
It's a combination of factors that causes it, and it requires a combination of factors to solve it. And my aim is really upstream. What I try to do is to get to, and a lot of people link my aim with the crime fighting part of it. But my aim is really, what I like to see my aim as is, let me get a little bit before they even get to this stage, you know what I mean? From the time that they're at that adolescent stage, young, even parents, let me get to them real early before it even gets this bad. That's really where my part is primarily, although I have to work in all the different areas, but that's the part I really like to focus on. But you are correct. There's a combination, I call it the cobbler pot of circumstances that actually cause us to be where we are today. And therefore, it will take a cobbler pot, a combined effort with the whole of society, a whole set of initiatives, a whole set of approaches to really treat to it.
The other thing we hear from some of the experts as well is that it's really a long-term process. So.
Yeah, and it is a long-term process. And the thing about that is that we are in a microwave generation. Everyone wants everything instantly. Microwave, beep, 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 and you got it. The abracadabra, poof. When you're dealing with human behavior, when you're dealing with behavioral change, it is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
So where are we now today? Not geographically, but where are we in terms of the process?
For me, we're still struggling along, I will tell you. We've got some green shoots in some of the areas that we have started to plant. Like, so if I flip the script, we've taken a number like 13 to 18-year-old really at-risk youth, started to get them working on the personal and professional development. That's been coming along really good. We had a lot of initiatives looking at, the singing program, music program, art programs, things that young people like to do. That's been coming pretty good. The challenge I think we are having really is with the narratives, and there are a lot of people fighting more the effort than fighting crime itself. That's one of my biggest challenges right now. So crime is around the world is a very sexy topic. So there are a lot of people who like to jump on a bandwagon and try to attack effort as opposed to say, let me join in. So I don't want to be part of the solution, so therefore we become part of the, okay, you answer this stuff. So that is a big part of it. Now, in terms of
perhaps, especially with the early successes we had, you think yourself might have created certain expectations?
No, I think that could have been created, but it wasn't intentional, because what I believe too, and I do agree with you, there's nothing easy about this, and there's nothing short-term about this. And sometimes you are a victim of your own success. Sometimes when you do really well, the bar is set really high, and then people expect miracles going forward. But from the beginning, we've reiterated, although I don't think that message is penetrated as I would like, is that this is not the end. We've got more work to do. We've come a long way, but there's a mighty long way to go. And we just need the support of everybody. We've been calling for it from the beginning. But I want to finish answering the question in terms of where we are. In terms of the various groups, what I am finding, what I'm liking, is as I interact with all the different groups and so on, one of the things that really is highlighted is that people actually do want peace and want better for the living. There are a few belligerent ones up there that see the lifestyle and think that it's real cool and thing. But in the main and in the majority, people want peace, people want to develop, people want to see the community doing, people want to have fun, people want to live like anybody else, people want to develop, people want to have assets and, be able to live and fly and buy and, have things as well. That is the majority, that is the main in this country still.
What's next?
What's next is really seeing how we can get the support for the crime prevention program, the national peace program, so that we can grow from strength to strength and do more and more programs and penetrate communities and saturate communities with positivity. Support morally, support financially comes from time to time, but really the support of the public, because what people don't understand, people say talk is cheap. One of the things that, and I keep harping on it because it's real, when people get, and as I say, sometimes not even genuinely try to attack, certain things you're doing. It's fun for them. They get a couple points here, some political points there, but they're actually affecting the program and affecting people's lives. Because of a certain, falsehoods and things that were put out there, certain programs had to be reviewed and pulled and so on, and those actually affect people's lives. It may not affect my life or your life, but Saxon, believe you me, listen to me when I say it, hear me when I say it, they're affecting a number of people's lives and people that can at least afford it.
According to government's own analysis, neighborhoods with lower socioeconomic status and high population density tend to have more elevated rates of crime. That report offers a number of recommendations and solutions. It posits that solutions to the problem of homicides and violence tend to be more practical and effective when they involve working with the communities.
You know, as minister and PV policy, we got be able to facilitate, but then we got people on the ground to actually make the things happen. This is where the rubber hits the road. So when community members here, right, we're going on, man, as well. Yeah. He want guys that want to be, put on programs and so on. Because remember, I can't be in all 15 communities every day, although my people would love me to be. So we really got to depend on people on the ground to actually make sure that the community is not idle. So tell you a bit about what we want to do.
Well, yes, please. We basically doing basketball, netball, and doing a little music for the talent so that you could get some Bajan talent. So you could get the singers, the chanters, even the poets to come out and then you still got your basketball, your netball, and you're doing that there so you could create the community spirit, more get togetherness, more mutuality. So that's why we're glad that the general came along, you know what I mean, and made the progress and made the process happen, you know what I mean.
Explain me how this is impacting the young people. How is it benefiting them?
Well, it can impact the young people because it's going to give them something to do in the time, and they can change the narrative or the things how people look at life, and especially how youngsters look at life. If he's making good examples of people that have good examples to look up to, you know what I mean? Hopefully it might even be changed up and turned into one of the beautiful examples too with the growth there. So you know what I mean? It's about the opportunity and how you use it. So hopefully everything will be, you know what I mean, working.
Definitely, and as you said, people, as I told you before, people want to grow up, people want shine. You understand what I mean? People want something to aspire to. You give them that aspire. As I said, my job is a hard job, and I gotta get the things, I gotta get the lights, I gotta get Pacifics, I gotta get the things built. But them job is the important job. That is really bringing the people together and keeping them together. Bringing them to rehearsals. As he said, the devil find work for idle hands. Many people out there ain't got nothing to do and can't see themselves as going anywhere. You know what I mean? Any road take them there. But when they know that it could be part of a team, it could be part, and they got our coaching and they got these there to keep giving them that positive word sound, that encouragement. That's where it's all at steps, and that's where rubber hits the road.
Do you feel you're making progress?
Yes, please. Yeah. Just know they might have a little dancing, and you can get the African girls and the little dancing thing back in the community, and that's a part of life in the community really is. You know what I mean? But progress is a process, as you say. No recovering from a little fall. We can get everything back working and
No retreat, no surrender.
yes, please, be positive.
We have a lot of situations where a lot of youngsters, right, just ain't got no guidance and the alignment and the block and the alignment. And you understand me? And then it goes downhill from there. But as you say, once you could pull them into something positive, pull them in, as you say, into the dancing, singing, football, all type of different things. The homework club, one things that a lot of youngsters told me they misses. Like when they grew up, they were able to do homework in the community center. They had somebody to help them with homework, that kind of thing. In these communities, some may not even have the facility to do that kind of thing. So community come together, we can make it happen.
Some youngsters already playing football, soccer, some call it, as we
Right, yeah, scrimmaging.
So you must have an interesting life story yourself.
Yes, because I here doing my music and different things. You know what I mean?
So how does it help you personally as well?
Yes, please. Give me a lot of things to think about myself, because you know what I mean? Circumstances is made you up and bad, depending on how you is, how you handle it, you know what I mean? But positively is all good because at least it's peace. And from there you can work. Anything can happen once you got peace, you know what I mean?
You just want the peace.
Yeah, fine. If you got peace, you could do anything from there. From there, if it's war, you'll be frightened.
So what's the message you would like to give and minister as well to the other young people, even not so young, in these communities?
I love what they're doing. Listen to what the general is doing and try to help the general do what he's doing, because it's a very positive move. And it wasn't happening before, so now it's happening. We need to forward it. So that's the message that I would give. Forward the mass movement.
Not a lot of, as he was saying, there was a lot of war, people fighting to go. A lot of people are actually prisoners in their own gaps. Yeah, people can go the gap. People come and they want employment, right? And they're coming to you for employment, but the employment gotta be in that gap. Because they're frightened if they go to that gap, can take them out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that them against or against them up. Somebody somebody opposite, somebody that looking at like you at war with would take you out. You understand? So when the peace came, I think it really eased things eased a lot of tension. People could go economic activity, and that's where we gotta get more peace, and that's where we gotta keep the peace, and it gotta be sustainable. And it just can't be for now. It can't be for sure. It gotta be saying that really and truly, as I said, everybody right around just support and keeps going so that people can live.
There's another world out there that a lot of people may not be exposed to, may not see.
Yeah.
Isn't it? What some may call the ugly underbelly or something. Is that correct?
Yes, it's true. In doing this work before and more so now, I recognize that, and that's why they say there's a them and there's a us and there's two Barbaduses. There's a Barbados out there that a lot of people are totally in the dark where it is concerned. And I believe that if we get understanding, cause a lot of hatred and stigma and discrimination is really come from ignorance. You not understanding me and I not understanding you. So the streets got a certain code. Streets got a certain way of doing things. You understand? And I find that even with programs like these, I commend you for this. Even in programs like these, it helps to bring the knowledge gap and bring us together closer. We can understand where people coming from. People can understand where we coming from, and that is what you need a lot more of, because there's a lot of social isolation where young people are concerned. You know, people they don't understand me. They're looking up at me. They got nothing to do with me, and you know what I mean. It's be that kind of fight. It's be a war.
What was the most shocking or most profound thing you learned, discovered, or experienced during this process?
I think this will shock you. I think I was shocked at the organized level of some of the blocks and so on. Like sometimes I see them more organized than the public service, right? The way how they got their structures and leadership. But the more shocking thing for me was how naive I was. I was thinking that crime bad, people dying bad, and that once you start to do good, that everybody can come and support you, right? I get blow out the water with that one. That one blow. That's the biggest. I can't get over it. Where people could say, all right, like you can actually see saying, you see the NPP, they're not trying to do the thing, and people trying to do something positive, you know. So I actually automatically thought, like, once you're doing good, you know, la, kumbaya, everybody can come together and know stats on it, doing work. So no. They got people that would know something good, but they would still put it down for their own agenda. That is the more shocking thing, human behavior, that I have ever experienced in my entire life, and it made me realize I got a lot to learn. I'm still young, and I was totally naive where that is concerned.
And the most positive thing?
The most positive thing for me is that at the end of the day, is that humans at the end of the day want peace and they want love. I was interacting with some people, you can hear about that soon, recently. And you know, you look at them from a distance and you just think these people bad and the belligerent and the killers and things. When you sit down, you really listen, these people realize that at the end of the day, as Barbadians, we still got a lot of love and a lot of respect, and it just need to be harnessed. So for me, that's the most positive thing at the end of the day. That love that in all of we that just need to be brought out.
That's the positivity you talk about earlier.
Yes, it's made me so proud of you how you speak it. That's me there, boy.
On the next episode of The Streets, support programs targeting at-risk youth.
I work alongside the National Peace Program with inmates and at-risk youth generally. We strongly believe in second chances.